Hello everybody, I am Jeffrey Hauser, author of the Learn With series. A colleague of mine recently asked how he could do two-way binding in Angular for a dynamically generated component in TypeScript. And Angular does not provide an easy way, but with some work you can get it working. I did some rabbit holing and experimentation around this concept because of the question, and I'm turning it into this podcast series, this screencast series about two-way binding. In this third episode of the series, I'm going to tell you how to use Angular to create a component, add it to the DOM using just TypeScript. Okay, let's review where we're at. So in the last episode, I created this comp1 component. It has a value input and a value change output, and these two work together to implement two-way binding. We are not going to change this comp1 component for this episode, or actually for any of the rest of the series. I've actually deleted the use of that component inside the app component so that we can go ahead and create it automatically. But I'm still going to leave this input bound two-way binding to this value1 inside the app component TypeScript file. So this way, when we change value1 inside this app component, it will update this input, and when we change it inside the input, it will update this component, main component, parent component. But this this input is not created on the fly. That's a hard-coded one. To create something on the fly, we're going to have to inject a few things in here. First, we're going to need a component factory resolver. And this is just a Angular service that's used to create new components. And we're going to have to know where to create the component. So we're going to add a view container ref. And those are the two things we need here. We're actually going to have to make this implement it's on init, I believe. Nope, wrong place. So let's see if binding will give it to me. And that is so we have this ng on init method here. Is that what I had? There we go. I had the casing wrong. That's all we needed to do. So now we've implemented our factory resolver, which is going to be used to create a component. We've imported our view container ref, and that is a reference to the main div of this component, so we'll be able to add items onto it. So first we need to get a component factory. Resolve component factory for comp1 component. And that gives us a component factory. Then we're going to want a component ref, which is view container ref is going to create a component, and it's comp1 component, and we will throw in the component factory. And we want to set the value on the component, this value one that we're passing in. So component ref dot instance, which is an instance of the component, value equals this dot value one. Now, important to remember here, this is a one-time set of that value. When we're creating a component like this, we don't have any of the magic that we have in the view. in the HTML, the Angular template, to create this sort of binding facility. So let's, a few errors as I was typing code, but it actually compiled. And make sure so we can change things in the parent, and we can change things in the child, but they are not attached together, and that is the problem we're going to want to resolve. And that I'll be covering in much more details in the next, about the next 3 episodes actually. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, please check out my book series at learnwith.com, which gives you a lot of information about how I use Angular every day to build enterprise applications for clients.